What's up, everybody? Welcome into a new episode of the Rapala Collegiate Bass Podcast. Getting close to Thanksgiving break, and we're just looking forward to the holiday season, and it also means good weather outside. Anglers getting out on the water as it cools off and spending some time here this fall as the semester winds down, the tournament season winding down as we look forward to the new year. Our guest today on the show, this episode of the Rapala Collegiate Bass Podcast, is anglers from Simpson University, located out in California. Aiden Grad, Brennan Osborn, and Jaiden Sobczyk. They all made their way out this fall to compete at different events for the ACA on the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series. Aiden and Jaiden both made their way to the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash presented by Berkeley at Kentucky Lake, and Brennan had the opportunity to make it to the AFCO Collegiate Bass Open at Lake Dardanelle. Aiden, real quick, man, just let's start the interview off. For those that aren't familiar, talk about the team real quick. You guys are located out in California, been around a couple years, maybe had a little bit of change here recently, whether it's staff, anglers on the team, and things like that. You guys are making more of an initiative to get out here. Y'all made it to a tournament or two each of the last couple years, got to the first two in the fall. Just kind of talk about the club and the initiative here for 25-26 season.
Oh, yeah. For our 25-26 season, this year we really upsized. We got our new coach, Michael Bray, and we've been doing really good about, getting out there more. We're getting on the water a ton more and keeping our options open on what we want to fish. And we've had, I think 6 teams head back east just this semester, and we're looking to really expand that next semester and really fish as many of those big collegiate tournaments as we can. And it's been really good. The past couple of years we haven't been out east as much as we wanted to, and so it's starting to look really good for us and getting that participation in and getting that experience.
For anybody, it's an awesome opportunity to be able to get out on the road, travel back this way, like you said, and be able to learn new water, experience new things, and compete at a national level here on the college circuit. But more especially as young individuals, young students, young anglers, to be able to do this so early on and be able to make these trips, you're no matter what your goals may be in life, you're learning some valuable stuff along the way, especially if the goal is to be a professional angler. You're figuring out life on the road. Brennan, real quick, just kind of talk about what it's been like for you. I know when we've had some of your team members cross the stage, it may have even been you specifically, but as I ask, I always want to know, how far was it to get out here? And it basically takes like 2+ days one way to make the journey out. Just talk about that time on the road and what you've learned so far here in your time at Simpson University and this fall in particular.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, compared to all the other colleges coming to these tournaments, by far, I would say we have the most travel. I mean, we don't get back east out easier than a 30-hour day, and most of those days or those trips end up being 40+ each way just to drive there and back. So definitely learning time management, especially with our schoolwork, communicating with our professors. It's definitely good life skills that can translate later on, but it's a grind, to get out there, but we really appreciate the opportunity just to be able to go do that and to, launch our boats in a bunch of different bodies of water, different environments, get to go and grow and learn in those places. And I think just gain that discipline of communicating with our professors, getting all of our work taken care of either before the tournament or after, or a couple late nights during practice as well. So, it's been really cool. This fall, again, was a good travel tournament for us. I know I went to Lake Dardanelle and did a lot better there this season than I did a couple years back. So it felt good to get the growth there as well. And, we're just always looking to keep learning and keep expanding on that.
Jaiden, sort of a similar question to what I asked Brennan there. Just kind of talk about your journey and experience so far as well, and your time at Simpson, being able to get out on the road, come out here and compete on a major college trail, making those long treks out this way to get out on the water. Just kind of give any kind of insight or comments that you have on what it's been like for you too as a part of this team.
Yeah, for sure. The experience is something that it's hard to put to words. From, driving down there with your partner and just being on the road, listening to music, and then, just even the stops at the hotel. It's just the environment, being with the team, and then especially when you get down to, the lake where everywhere you're going, every gas station, there's a boat pulled up to the, gas station. It's just such a cool experience. And, looking back from just even 3 months ago, I feel like you develop so much as an angler the more you experience, and doing these back east trips, especially for us on the West Coast, these lakes fish completely different. So it gives us that other side of fishing that, okay, now we got to go out, we got to go break down these lakes, completely different than what we're used to, on the West Coast. So you're gaining a crap ton of knowledge, and it's just an experience that it's hard to put to words, but it's the experience you need to, experience to fish the next level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely does make sense, and you've seen it done several times. I know as a kid growing up, there were many big names that made the trips out from out west to compete on a national level that I watched growing up as professional anglers, and to watch you guys do it as college anglers has been really cool. Aiden, yourself, you're familiar with our trail. I know you've been at several events over the last couple of years. This past fall at the Bass Pro Shops Big Bass Bash presented by Berkeley, you weighed in a bass just under 5 pounds, had you in the top 60 overall of that tournament. As Jaiden was hinting at there, coming out this way, you're learning different things. The fisheries don't quite set up like they do, for you guys back home, if West Coast is home for y'all originally. Talk a little bit about something that you've learned, or maybe just what the experiences have been like for you in terms of your angling skill, as you have had success coming out this way. Just kind of talk about, is there something back home that translates when you come this direction, or are you just coming out with the clean slate and figuring out how to get the job done?
So definitely on Kentucky Lake, it's definitely overwhelming, for us being used to fishing these, clear water California reservoirs. But I'm originally from Washington State, and I live on the Columbia River, so I have a little bit of experience, like that river fishery. Definitely a little different than like Kentucky, but still smallmouth, a little bit of largemouth here. It's always just fun though, definitely have to treat it like anything, like nothing you've never fished before. Our first year there, we struggled a little bit, but we got a little pattern going, and, it was just time on the water there and finding new stuff, covering new areas really helped us a lot. And it was definitely like a big learning step from coming here, and it's just being able to like put those little pieces together and learn stuff that you would have, never learned just staying and fishing around California. It's been really cool. I mean, it's definitely helped me a ton as an angler, especially if you're wanting to go pro, you're going to fish, lakes all across the country, and stuff you never really get a chance to fish, or techniques you never really have to try, just stay on your home waters.
Yeah, that's definitely, it can be regional from state to state, but obviously making the trip that y'all do, definitely a lot of major changes in terms of the way fishery is set up, the bodies of water, rivers, lakes, you name it. Myself, I grew up in Dallas. I went to school in Arkansas, Highland Reservoirs, where I went to college, and more deeper, clear water. And so for me, I felt like every time I was coming home, we were running to Bass Pro Shops to buy spinning gear, light line, finesse tactics. And so that's something that I developed and used more as I went to school where I did. Even though it was just a 5-hour drive from where I grew up, it was still different, and something that I developed and learned when I was in college. Brennan, coming to Lake Dardanelle, where you were at, yourself and Braden competed together, finished in 76th. Talk a little bit about Lake Dardanelle. There may not be a lot to compare it to back home. What did y'all do specifically to make a game plan that got you inside the top 100 out of, I believe that week we were around 275 or more boats that competed at Lake Dardanelle? Just kind of talk about similar direction that Aiden went. Anything specific from back home that you were able to carry over, or did you just come at it blind and figure out how to catch some fish?
Yeah, I think one thing I really leaned on is it's similar to me in my mind of like studying for a test, is doing map study before we show up, and every night while we're there, just kind of trying to figure out what's going to be my highest percentage stuff so I can knock out a lot of the area for like what Aiden was saying for how intimidating a lake or a river system could be. Just getting like a couple days to attack it, you definitely want to be in an area where you think you're going to be the most efficient. So I really tried to develop myself looking at maps and just becoming familiar with the fishery before we get there. That way, if there's something in particular I'm looking for, I can go do that. And to touch on Dardanelle specifically, honestly, compared to like the California reservoirs, I would basically put it like a polar opposite. It's just a shallow, super dirty water river fishery. But for me, it didn't really hurt too bad because it's definitely something I'm comfortable fishing. I grew up fishing shallow on the lower end of the Columbia River. So fishing shallow is definitely not a big deal for me. So in that tournament, we tried to find some offshore stumps on these flats, like 2 to 7 feet of water. We figured a lot of those fish were getting beat up on the bank in practice, and we'd have a little bit higher chance of catching good fish and just numbers of them too, a little bit off the bank where a lot of other boats weren't looking. So we went around the lake and did that, and I kind of set my depth highlight on my map looking for those flat areas that we could go graph and then go fish those stumps out. Some of them ended up working for us. Obviously, there wasn't all of them didn't work out because we only caught 3 fish the second day. But yeah, I think if I were to go back, I would probably target a couple more creeks that we didn't just have the time to get into. But nonetheless, like all these lakes that we get to go see, like we were at Pickwick this spring. I went to Kentucky Lake last year. It's just invaluable experience, getting to put yourself in all those different situations and prepare for something unlike what we get to do out here. So definitely been really good and something that I think you can't really put a numeric value on.
Jaiden, anything for you that sticks out that maybe it's different bait that you never had seen before, had never tried to throw in terms of fishing, tactics, techniques, areas of the lake, baits, you name it, answer it how you will. Is there anything specific that jumps out to you that you either didn't know about or have, wanted to learn more about that as y'all have come out this way and fished some of these different bodies of water you've been able to grow and expand on?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily, different bait or different structure. I mean, we have some of the same stuff that, down here than we do back east and whatnot. But it's mainly the time of the year and how the fish are set up. Down here we have a lot more deeper water. So for me, I'm from Washington as well as Aiden. This time of year, say November, these fish are really deep and you got to finesse them when, back east, these fish are set up completely different. Say when we were down there, we're in Kentucky, like if we were there the same time of year back home, these fish would be sitting completely different. So, I mean, a lot of time it was the same technique that I felt comfortable using, but it's just fishing the fish different, if that makes sense. Just you have to work them a little different.
Yeah, that definitely does make sense. You always, take into account where you're at, the time of the year, and how they set up, and definitely something, that y'all are learning and growing, and that's what's awesome about college fishing. Being able to make the travels and trips that you guys do to come out here and compete at this level is really awesome. We're talking with members from Simpson University, Aiden Grad, Brennan Osborn, and Jaiden Sobczyk. Aiden, next question to you. Coming from the West Coast, representing Simpson University, one of, if not the few college teams out there coming to compete on a national level, even regionally as well. Talk about the pride, what it means to you to be able, you're not only representing your school, but in a way you're representing a region and part of the country too, coming out here and letting people know what y'all are capable of doing as West Coast anglers. Just speak to that some and your response, please.
Yeah, definitely feel, a big responsibility being kind of one of the main collegiate fishing teams over here on the West Coast, and definitely get a lot more looks from it, since there's not whatever, a couple schools for every state that have a team like us, and it's really cool to talk to everybody that's really interested in it, and all like the new recruits, we get hit up all the time, people wanting to join the team, and it's asking the experience. I mean, there's not a lot of people that get the tournament world down south where you guys are, and it's honestly a lot bigger deal down there, and we're trying to push for it and make it like that up here. But it's a really good experience, and it's definitely awesome representing this side of the country, and being able to support and kind of try and grow all of it. And it's been a really good experience for sure. But we're glad to represent and hoping we can grow it.
Brennan, talk a little bit about your experience from high school to college, now being on the team there at Simpson. Was this a goal all along? Was it something you just kind of stumbled into and found out it was happening and got involved? Just kind of explain a little bit how someone on the West Coast gets to, the premier college bass fishing team out there in California on the West Coast. You're a part of it now. So talk a little bit about your journey to get to this point.
Yeah, it started in Oregon, fishing the Bass Federation high school tournaments I won the state championship my freshman year and came out to fish nationals at Pickwick in 2019. That's where I met the prior head coach for Simpson, Alex, and then kind of figured out what that whole deal was and that there was sponsorship opportunities or scholarship opportunities, in college to do fishing. So that was definitely on my radar early on in high school and kind of just kept doing it and made the final decision my senior year to really shoot for it. And talked a little bit and went through the recruitment process with Simpson, and we were able to make it happen. But I would definitely want to touch on just being here and having the opportunity to fish in college. Like, it's night and day just to be in an environment like this with a group of guys that are pushing you, not only like motivating you, but also in competition. Like, there's no one we really want to beat more than each other sometimes. So it definitely pushes you to the next level in your preparedness, and just the amount of effort you put into everything. I feel like it really helps you jump to that next level. And I think a lot of these college guys, not only on the team here, but in these back east tournaments, are exceptional fishermen. So yeah, I would say the competition is fierce, and it's been definitely a good motivator to keep pushing myself and see what I can achieve just moving forward.
Jaiden, if we were to roll the clock back, 10, 12 years, and you were able to see a younger version of yourself, and you're maybe sitting there on a dock somewhere with dad, grandpa, friends, family, whatever it might be, and someone told you that fast forward to 2025 and you'd be competing for a college bass fishing team and traveling out east to fish in major national college tournaments. Just kind of talk a little bit about what that thought process might be like and what it means to you too. The same vein of which I've asked each of the two of them, just what does it mean for you to be able to come out here? Did you ever think that this would be a possibility in your life to do what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so if I was looking back 10 years, little me, I wouldn't have believed myself, Just like if I were to tell somebody that's not into fishing that I'm on a scholarship for bass fishing, oftentimes they're like, no way, that's a thing. I wish that was around when I was, in high school when they were doing, high school scholarships and college scholarships. So it definitely still doesn't feel real. And it's something that kind of just fell on my lap. I was doing my real estate course to get my real estate license, and then I fished all the high school tournaments. We won Angler of the Year my freshman year, state championship my freshman year as well. And then I plan on going the business route of the fishing industry. There's a lot of money to be made, and I feel like I'm a pretty good angler, but my parents are all entrepreneurs, and it's just something that I find, a passion. So I plan on going the business route, and then I got a call from our new coach, Michael Bray, and he laid out the opportunity. So I took the opportunity, one, to become a better angler, because the amount of time that we get on the water, it physically wouldn't be possible to fish as much as we are if we weren't on this team. And also took the opportunity to gain connections to grow my business. And yeah, if I were to look at myself now, a couple years previous, I wouldn't believe where I'm at today. It's surreal.
Yeah, I want to say also, too, if I remember right, maybe some of the team members made the trip out to ICAST this year. So building on what you're talking about, Jaiden, the opportunities to, not only on the water but off the water, too, to grow inside the industry, whatever it is y'all may want to achieve. College fishing and the team at Simpson's giving you that platform to have an opportunity to attain that. Aiden, following along with that statement there for yourself, looking back on your time at school so far and what you plan to do into the future, do you feel like whatever it is you may want to do on and off the water, what impact has college fishing made on that for what you want to do in the future? Essentially, whatever you may want to be doing, could you have done it without what's transpired the last couple of years as a part of this team?
Yeah, honestly, my goal is to fish the pros one day, get into the Elite Series and do that for my living. And I honestly don't think this would be nearly as possible, without getting this college fishing experience, and being able to get all this time on the water and get all this, supported through the team. And it's just, I think it would have been a lot more challenging if I was, working a full-time job, trying to get out to these tournaments and get all this experience in. And it's really been good. We get to see the travel side of things, how, all the pros, they're on the road all the time, and we're getting to learn that and kind of learn the ins and outs of it and how to do it, what to do. It's been a really good experience. I definitely think it has been a huge help on my way towards my goal of fishing the pros.
Brennan, individually for you as well, what is it that you want to do through college fishing the remainder of your time in school and afterwards? Kind of speak to your goals as an angler, or maybe what you want to achieve in the classroom and then do as a professional.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely in the same boat as Aiden. I definitely want to fish professionally. I've been jumping into some pro-ams and stuff out here on the West Coast in addition to the college stuff. And I think one of the other things Aiden didn't touch on, which I think is definitely invaluable experience, is the business side of this. Like he said, it'd be really tough working a full-time job to do this whole thing. So having the opportunity to be with the school where we have partners that help sponsor us and to kind of see the ins and outs of that without the personal risk of like losing a sponsor or trying to work for them on our own, just to get that experience before we kind of jump into it, I think is really important. And it kind of gives us a good template of what we can shoot for, things that we can do in order to get those partnerships to help fund us and to get us more time on the water. But yeah, definitely fishing professionally is what I want to do as well. So I think I got one big college tournament left in my senior year this spring, which will probably be Hartwell. So I definitely want to crack back into the top 20 at least if we can, and then just kind of see where we can go from there.
Obviously, talking about that Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia, wanting to do a good job. Obviously, well, you may have also been talking about yourselves as a two-angler team, but getting in the top 20 as a boat or as a school, big goal for the rest of this season. And that leads me to my final question, Jaiden, for you, the team as a whole at Simpson University. What are y'all wanting? What's the end goal here? Is it a 5-year project, a 10-year project? What you want to see? I just answer in kind of two parts. What do you want to see happen in the immediate as a part of the team this season, and then answer what you would like to see the team achieve in the future, whether it's specific to your team, for West Coast bass fishing in general, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so I think right now for this semester and this upcoming year is just growing together and also individually. We still have a lot of kids that are still pretty new to the whole fishing thing and just tournament fishing in general. So we're all growing at a rapid rate. So right now, that's our goal right now, is just growing. And then for the long run, it's growing as a fishing community. The West Coast, there's only really 2 big trails, Bass Angler Magazine and Wombat. So it's still like an untapped area, if that makes sense. So from here, it's literally all growth.
Yeah, those good goals for you guys. Growth is what y'all are doing as a team there at Simpson and wanting to do for the West Coast as a whole for collegiate bass fishing. It's been fun to watch, be in contact with you guys through different coaches, different anglers making their way through the last several years, and seeing y'all make the trips out. Always enjoy being able to talk to y'all on stage. Fun to hear about the journeys on the road and get to talk to y'all today as well. Guys, hope y'all have a good holiday season, good rest of the fall semester, and we look forward to seeing y'all back out on the trail here with the Bass Pro Shops Collegiate Bass Fishing Series in the spring of 2026.
All right, thank you. It was good talking to you.
Thanks for having us on.
Yep. Thank you, Kyle.
Welcome to Minnow King. How can I help you?
Everything looks good. I'm friggin' starving, man. Been spawning all morning.
Ugh, TMI, bro. What do you want?
I'll take a Crush City freeloader and gizzard shad.
Anything to drink?
Water.
Pull ahead, please. Welcome to Minnow King.
We're gonna have what he's had. Yeah, throw me in a net BLT too.
Pull ahead, please.
Calm down. Quit feeding him so much.
Hey, man, I'm trying to, man. If you
overfeed him, he's going to hide under a log.